Good morning all, it's Mithu Rahman here. Thank you for joining me on my newest video. As you might have noticed, a slight change of scenery because it is a rare and beautiful Sunday morning down here. And so you find yourself in Casa Rahman's kitchen today. There's a reason for this, which I will get to later on. But today, the topic of the video is what keeps you going. At the time of filming this video, as most of you will know, there have been quite a number of challenges in the NHS of late, and it's been tough going for some of our colleagues, and many have been discussing on the forums that I'm on. A lot of people are struggling with the concept of how to deal with the day-to-day of general practice and medicine in general. Some even thinking of and have actually taken the steps of giving up their certification and talking about retraining. I understand that. I really do get it. It is a hard time at the moment. A lot of people just wondering, what's in it for me to stay on in medicine as it stands currently. Well, it's times like this. It's worth kind of looking at and reasserting your what we call your why, your purpose in medicine. Look back and kind of think, because you may be a couple of years in, you may be very, shall we say, seasoned, like myself. You may be closer to retirement. Either way, you will be thinking about what it is that's keeping you in medicine and what keeps you going, and looking at things like your purpose and affirming it each day is actually important. It helps you to understand and to realise that we do an important job. That your chances of getting a serious complaint are actually quite small. On average, every GP is going to get 2 significant complaints over the course of a year. Full-time GPs. Very few of them will escalate on. So the NPS says that 75%, probably more, of all complaints are tied to communication skills or lack of good communication during a time of a complaint. So, as I've spoken of before, but I'll quickly recap. What is it that helps you to maintain good communication skills? Well, your communication skills and your empathy are, of course, entirely tied to how well you are rested, how focused and how empathic that you can be as a doctor. Which means, of course, you've got to look after yourself to help others. And that's really important, and it's forgotten by so many people. And I strongly suggest that we need to be looking at our nutrition and hydration, and things like that help our mental strength. I was talking with a colleague who was struggling from mental strength, and in January he joined a gym, and I suggested to him, you should probably look at joining a mental health gym, so to speak. Lots of resources online, and so he took the time to do this over the course of January. And you're saying, why hadn't he done this before? It just makes absolute sense. You want to look after your physical self. Everybody goes over and joins Virgin Health clubs or whatever. Look after your mental health strength as well. It will reap massive dividends for us, professional doctors who are highly educated and having to use what's going on up here, because this is what helps us to do the job. So at a high level, reaffirm your purpose, and do so daily. We're a highly trusted profession. What are the other things that benefit? There is a high financial reward compared to other professions. There's the personal satisfaction of having done a good job, and it's a holistic profession. I talk about in my book Superdoc about the habits of successful GPs, and the most important thing is that there's no need to feel that you are not covered. As we've seen recently, if it's going to hit the fan, believe it or not, the profession will come together. We're not going to take any more rubbish from the so-called authorities. We got your back. But coming down to a more ground level then, about what keeps you going throughout the day, well, there's really only one answer to that, isn't there? The humble and faithful coffee cup. Personally, I'm a big fan of coffee. I usually have about 3 cups a day because the research suggests that 3 cups of caffeinated beverage a day is probably the ideal. Some people aren't big on caffeine, some people drink a lot more, and I do appreciate that as well. It's the number 1 legal stimulant in the entire world, and that's not going away anytime soon. Well, just like caffeine at certain levels is good for you, a bit like alcohol, but too much caffeine is not very good for you. And just as an example, and this happened just a couple of days ago, I had a breakfast meeting where I had a cup of coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then somebody else came in, they poured a cup of coffee, automatically poured me one. I'd forgotten I'd had one, and so this is about 9:15, 1 hour 15 minutes later, I downed another cup of coffee. About 2 hours later, I started feeling really bad. Exactly what it would sound like it would be with caffeine overdose: tachycardia, nausea. I had to go and lie down for about 20 minutes just to recover and get a few paracetamol in. Some supermarkets have even actually started to actually stop selling things like the Red Bull drinks to under 16s. They've even started to recognise that the research shows these things aren't very safe. And you've probably seen like the Monster cans there. I mean, they're half a litre of sugar and caffeine. It's not good for anyone, and it definitely is not good for kids. Okay, so if you got kids, by the way, don't encourage this. Okay, but just like anything else, caffeine quality is important. The quality of your coffee is important. Garbage in, garbage out. You put good stuff into your body, you get good stuff out. Coffee, no different. Okay, but there's so many out there. You've got to be thinking, well, especially in recent years, the amount of different types of coffees. I mean, there's so many out there. Here's the good news: I've done the research for you, and I'm even going to share a little bit for you, you lucky people. This one over here, this is kind of like my Sunday morning mug, and it's actually, I'll show you. It's a brand of Ethiopian Mocha Limu, strength 4 out of 5. Now, I should point out, even though it is the grossest food and drink winner 2015, I unfortunately am not getting paid to market these guys. I wish they would. If anybody from Asda cares to watch this, okay, Dr. Rahman in Cardiff, feel free to get in contact. Anyway, that said, to use that ground coffee, you need one of these: French press or cafetiere. A lot of you will be familiar with these things. As you know, it takes about 5 minutes to brew it up nicely, and it smells good. It tastes great. There's a real taste of coffee in there. And by the way, I don't usually drink my coffee black, but it's my Sunday morning treat. I appreciate, of course, in surgery, you may feel you may not have much time. Now, I would suggest that you make time for that 5-10 minutes to just brew up a coffee, have a chat with somebody nearby if somebody's nearby. Make the coffee, make the time to make the coffee. Enjoy the process. The break will do you good. The quality coffee will do you good. You'll feel much more refreshed when you come back to your work. But I appreciate that's not always possible for everyone. So our next step down is instant coffees. Now, this is one of my favourites. It's not usually this kind of pretty in colour, but instant coffee. And just demonstrate. That's it over there, and I'm just going to quickly pour some out there. Instant coffee is never going to be as good. It's never going to be as fresh. It's never going to have as a rich taste to it. But for certain circumstances, and I appreciate, like say we're all in a hurry, sometimes it will do. Sometimes I'll take mine white. And to be fair, as instants go, this one's probably my favourite. It's got a decent strength to it. It doesn't have the same kind of quality of flavour, but like I say, it'll do for purposes. And then of course you got this. beloved in surgeries all throughout the country, and as somebody who's locumed in a lot of practices, I know full well Nescafe Original. Now, if you're feeling incredibly lazy, this one actually has the sachets which have the milk already in it, so you don't even have to waste time finding milk. That's this one over here. Now, I haven't tried this for years. I've not tried this one before at all. Gotta be honest, wasn't fussed with it the last time I tried it. But in the interest of research, for the benefit of you guys, my viewers. That is rank. That's absolutely foul. Can't imagine why anybody would want to drink that. So if you have this in your surgery, do everybody a favour, check it away, get some proper coffee, honestly. Oh, and finally, there was a message on one of the posts that I was reading recently in one of the forums, a doctor asking, should you provide biscuits for your receptionists if they're asking? I was thinking, what are you talking about? Provide biscuits? Fill the whole damn pantry. This is your team. These are the people who will make your life better. At a stroke, they can decide how good or crap your day can possibly be. You do realize that they are an integral part of your team. Yes, keep them happy. Biscuits. Are you really going to sacrifice part of your productivity and your quality of life just over a packet of hobnobs? Buy biscuits. Yeah, and don't just buy any biscuits. Don't get rich tea. Okay. My recommendation. And again, unfortunately, I'm not getting paid to promote these guys. But again, M&S, if you want to send me biscuits, feel free to do so. Love these things. Absolutely love them. Okay, well, I've waffled on long enough, but just to summarise then, high level, get yourself through the day, reaffirm what it is that you love about medicine, and put good stuff into your body. And, we as a profession, we got your back, okay? You always worry about the worst happening. Most of the time, nearly all of the time, it won't happen. So enjoy the day, stay resilient. Dr. Rahman signing out.